Are you tired of all the dating games, rules, and societal norms that make falling in love confusing and stressful?
Then join us as we ditch the script and empower you to establish healthy, conscious relationships.
This weekly podcast breaks down popular dating reality television and educates you on healthy versus toxic dating habits.
I'm Brianna, a licensed therapist.
And I'm Alex, a trauma-informed and certified narcissist recovery coach.
Are you ready to ditch the script?
Hello.
Hi. Oh my God. The fact that we are here.
Friday. Yeah.
Happy Friday. The fact that we are here, the fact that we are doing this is honestly insane.
We're killing it. We're slaying it always. And this is our 100th episode. So it's also special. Yeah.
Shut up.
Happy 100th episode, everybody.
Happy 100th. We're 100 episodes old.
You want to know what else I want to celebrate? I want to celebrate this fucking flawless skin I have today.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was talking to Bri about it for 5 milliseconds before we got on, but I got this new chemical peel and I have vitamin C that I'm adding into my skincare routine. Look at this. No makeup, everybody.
She's glowing.
This dewy, motherfucking flawless skin. I'm enjoying it. While I'm on my period, by the way, in case that might be TMI for y'all, but we don't care.
It's not for me. Tell me more.
Not for me.
Tell me about the consistency of your blood. I want to know.
No, we don't need to. I won't. I'll spare them those details.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Here we are, 100 episodes.
Okay.
The Golden Bachelor.
Episodes.
And a little bit for outside of Bachelor Nation stuff.
Yeah.
You have your first wedding this weekend.
I know. I have my first wedding this weekend. So that's actually why this episode is going to be buckle up. We are speeding through all the details because I got to get to the venue for a load-in and then do a ceremony rehearsal. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, it's a Jewish wedding too.
Holla.
Yeah. So the blessing of the challah bread and the wine and the breaking of the glass. So it's going to be super
Mazel
fun.
tov.
But thank you. Yeah.
I had no idea that this was going to be a Jewish wedding that you were doing. That's so funny.
Oh yeah. I mean, very non-traditional. It's not in a the ceremony's not in a temple or anything, but it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Cool. Fun.
Okay. I just had to share because I'm it's so fun. I feel like you're there with me in spirit.
Yep. I represent all Jews everywhere, all at once, at any time.
Exactly.
Hava Nagila. Oh, I love it.
My
okay,
God.
Cool. So, should we just get the fuck in?
Sure. Do you have any fun life updates to share, lickety split?
No.
Cool. So then, let's dive in. The Golden Bachelor, women tell all.
Yo.
Yeah. I know, right?
The ending of this episode.
With the bloopers?
Oh, the bloopers were incredible.
Okay, yeah. Which
I was just
part?
The end, the rose.
You were shocked. I was shocked because I was like, we know who he's going to give it to.
We were so confident.
Well, I stand by my confident choice. He was gushing over her. Do we just want to talk about it? I got to blow my nose.
Let's do what we came here to do. Let's talk about Gerry. Let's talk about who he did not give his rose to. And then we can talk about the ladies.
Okay, cool. Well, we leave off with the final rose or the last rose ceremony. It's Leslie, Faith, Teresa. Leslie has a rose. And then Gary's like, oh no, excuse me while I go keel over and find my breath to be able to do what I need to do and I don't want to do it, right? So poor guy is dysregulated AF. And we're all over here watching on the edge of our seats, but I'm also not really on the edge of my seat because I'm like, we know who you're gonna pick. We know you're gonna pick Faith.
See ya, Teresa.
I love you, and like with their moment, and he was vibing with the grandsons playing football, and they're riding horses together. They're talking about lifestyle. To quote Gerry, he's like, "This is so good," motioning between them. And then we have the shocker of a lifetime.
Mm.
Faith doesn't get the rose.
Yeah. I feel played.
I low-key feel played too.
Yeah. I feel played, not necessarily by Gerry. I feel played by the editors because they
Right.
did
I
this
mean,
to us.
they did a big old curveball. They did a big old curveball.
They did.
But you know what? I also am curious if, like, I would love to be a little fly on the wall in Gary's brain.
You
Excuse
kind of
me,
want to like
because
talk to him and like interview him and be like, hey, what was that like for you?
well, I'm curious to know, and I wish he had shared more on this episode when he like during Women Tell All when he got to talk to Faith and kind of explain like where that thought process and like why he sent her home. He didn't really expand on that,
Mm-hmm.
but I am curious if the flight situation and getting there and the lifestyle of it all was really the thing that like because at the end of the day, and I hear this the more and more I do work with relationships, study relationships, listen to people who are in successful relationships for a long period of time. And the one thing that it always comes down to is lifestyle. They're like, it's
Mm-hmm.
not feasible for, because like we said last week, love isn't enough, right? So it's like, it's not feasible for people with completely mismatched lifestyles to have a sustainable relationship because it's just so
Mm-hmm.
different. And someone's going to have to really give up, like not even compromise, like give up a way of
Mm-hmm.
being to make it work. And so I'm curious if that was it because like he
Mm-hmm.
was about her. Like that's not a question. Like more about her than Teresa and the way that I was seeing it. Like way more.
Way like miles more. Like it really
Yeah.
their connection to me felt like two people who really are magnets to one another
Yeah.
without even trying. Like remember when Faith was there and Gerry came out and she's like they finally like take apart their hug and she tries to talk to him. She's like, "Oh my god, it's so hard not to touch you."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, babes, that's because that's your motherfucking person."
Right. It
That's
was
how I
weird.
felt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really curious. And then, this is actually a question that kind of has been popping into my mind, like the difference between settling and choosing a partner that's good enough, which does not sound sexy. But when we, again, like, have you heard of the secretary example of like relationships and interviewing and
No.
dating? Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
So do you want me to dive into it? I'm going to give Cliff Notes version, but
Oh my god,
basically,
please, 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 please.
so we get like to get away from this hyper fixation of like the perfect person because that doesn't exist, right? There's this example where if you were like interviewing for a secretary position and you have like 100 applicants, how are you going to make sure you pick the right one? And the example goes, you interview the first 37 people. So about a third of the people, first 30 maybe. I
Mhm.
can't remember the exact number. It's 30, 37, something around there. You interview the first 30 to 37 people and the best one out of that 30 becomes your benchmark person. So then,
Oh.
as you continue to interview the remaining applicants, the next person that either meets your benchmark person or is above your benchmark person, you hire them and you stop interviewing the rest of the candidates. And so
Oh.
they say to do the same thing with dating. So like take inventory of your last 30 to 37% of the people that you've dated, and whoever your best relationship is becomes your benchmark. And then from there, the next person you date that's either matching your benchmark or above is who you marry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I
So,
love that. I think that
so
that
the
makes a lot of
reason,
sense.
yeah, the reason I share this is because although we can see plain as day how magnetic and like juicy that connection is between Gerry and Faith, if the logistics of the longevity of the relationship aren't matching up, like it begs the question, like, is he settling if he chooses Teresa or Leslie, or is he really being intentional and like, no, like the longevity of either of these relationships is going to be more sustainable because of which means he'll be able to fall in
Yeah.
love with them even more. Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah.
explaining that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're doing a great job. I think like I just like I think that that makes sense, but we'd have to get inside his brain to know what criteria adds up for his like best relationship, that like what makes the most sense for him. Because
Yeah.
if I were Gerry, I don't think I would have had a really hard time letting Faith go because of the way that we were connecting, because the
Yep.
connection with Faith feels like akin to a favored connection of my own history, of my
Right.
own past. So it was like, it would have been
Right.
like, oh, I want that. And yes,
Yeah.
lifestyle challenges, but like not ready to take this one out of the race.
I know.
Oh. I
So
just
it's
like
like,
where is Teresa and Gerry in alignment? I don't know. I don't know who they
well,
are as a couple.
okay, I'll say this because I even said this to when my boyfriend and I were watching it, like not
Yeah.
this last episode, but the episode before.
Uh-huh.
I said this. I was like, if you pick Teresa, it'll work. I literally just was like, with the utmost confidence. I was like, the only
Oh no.
person I can see Gerry leaving with and actually going the distance is
Uh-huh.
Teresa.
Yeah.
I think Faith and him, it would have been really explosive and then it would have crashed and burned. And I think the
Hmm.
same is true of Leslie. Um, but Teresa, I could see it working out. But it's not going to be the same connection that we see with Faith, which is why it's like, how do we
Mm.
define settling? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
Mm.
all relationships are going to feel different. You and I have been talking about this privately, right? All relationships are
Yeah.
going to feel different. So it's like when we get into this really slippery slope of comparing, like, oh, with this person I had this kind of explosive reaction connection, and with this person I had this kind of connection, right? It's not always choosing the one where you have the most intense fanny flutter, right? The
Yeah.
hardest
Yeah.
boner, if you will.
Yeah.
It's going
Yeah.
to be the one where it's like, this is sustainable. And that, like, again, sustainable is not a sexy relationship. That doesn't mean you're not connected. That doesn't mean you don't have feelings of
Yeah.
love. That doesn't mean you don't have fun together. It's just, at the end of the day, if you're looking for a long-term, secure, stable partnership, what are those qualities in comparison to the things that might be like so exciting and fireworky, but they're fleeting, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's hard.
no, it's so true. And like, it's so funny because when you and I do talk about this, it like logically, I'm like, yeah, you need to pick the person that you can go the distance with. And what adds up to going to the distance with is can look like something that isn't fireworky, obviously. Like, I think that we tend to find the fireworks to be the thing to be a little cautious of. But
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with it in the case of Teresa because
Excuse me.
I don't know if it's like the romanticism of the show really wants me to lean towards sexy connection and like romantic connection, but I'm having a hard time because it's like
Hmm.
it's hard to even see him and Teresa working out as a long-term couple in reality. And again, I think it's because I feel like I don't know who you are as a couple.
Yeah. I can understand that I don't know who you are as a couple question mark. The reason I think it will work with Teresa is because um how do I say this in a kind way? Um I think Teresa is so committed already that she is like that's like what Gerry is choosing within her is like she very much has made it clear for the last few episodes, like, I love you, I want to be here, we're going to do this, I can do this with you. And I think because of that confidence that she has, Gary's kind of resting in that.
Mhm.
um and I think it makes him feel really supported and secure. So even though it
Mhm.
might not be as sexy fiery as what we see, I think again he's looking at location and he's looking at the longevity, like the sustainability of it. And again, it's not like this is a like, if I'm being honest, this is a hard conversation to have even with yourself, because
Mm.
it's like what you and I were talking about when we FaceTimed a couple weeks ago. It's like there are certain aspects that all of us love and value in relationship, but what do we do when we have a partner where it's like similar to what Teresa is, where like they check a lot of the boxes, but there might be a few sexier boxes that this person isn't necessarily checking. but I know I can have a long-term relationship with them. So then it's like, what are
Right.
your deal breakers? Are your deal breakers the sexy fleeting things, or are your deal breakers the I know I can do this with you like type things? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
totally.
it's hard, and it's an
Okay.
uncomfortable conversation to have with yourself, honestly.
Yeah, I I think you need a lot of support in it, and that's why I feel for someone in a situation like the show because, like, you
Mm.
can't talk to anyone about it,
Oh my
but
god.
if you are in a position like this, you really gotta, like, lean on your friends or your family or, like, the people that you feel safe with because I know that there are good people in my life, you included, that would, like, sort of have those difficult conversations with me about, like, "Brianna, is this a person that, like, is good for right now, or is this a person that you're, like, trying to build with?" And it's so tough when everyone around you, and yourself included, just want you to be happy. And sometimes it's like you want to choose the happiness of right now and you want to hope that the happiness of right now takes you well into the future. And there's just no guarantees on this stuff.
Nope. Oh my god. I also just had a guy friend, call me up the other day because it's a long story, but he's very much like dealing with this right now. And I was like, do you want me to be a friend right now, or do you want my honest advice? Like, what lane do you want me in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to be that for him right now, but in the most respectful, loving, supportive way. And it is a hard fence for me to straddle. He receives it very well, but it's like,
Mm.
I feel, and of course I'm not a wizard, I can't tell the future, but based off of patterns
Yeah.
in the relationship that I've seen with this specific person in this scenario, I feel like the writing's on the wall and I can see it going exactly where I see it going. But because the emotions are so mixed in with it all, it's hard for him to see it from that lens right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's where it's just like, and I love you anyway, and do whatever you want to do because it's your life, and I'll be here for you no matter how you want me to be here for you. But fuck.
Yeah. I felt for Faith in the crescendo of the relationship because she was on such a high. And she's realistic enough to know that like it was possible that she could go home, but she just got
Yeah. If
dropped.
I was Faith, I wouldn't have thought I was going home. Like if I
Me
like we
neither.
go back to that moment where they were like in front of everyone, but they were so here and it was like, I love you too. Like that moment, right? Was so like you could feel the tunnel vision, even though they were in a public setting. It was like they were the only ones existing. And
Mhm.
if I was Faith and had that moment with this guy in this setting, I would be like, bitch, it's me. Like I would have been so
A
I would have
100%.
I'm knocking my mic into my coffee. I would have been like, yeah, thank you. I'll see you at the fantasy suite. Where's my Neil Diamond ring or what Neil Lane
Yeah.
ring or whatever? And yeah, bye.
Oh, yeah, I would've
And
been
then
like,
I'd
this
be
whole thing's wrapped up. Whole thing.
and then you'd find me crying in a car, being like, what?
Yeah. How did you feel about her some of her parting thoughts, at the Women Tell All, where she was just like, "I I had never felt safe." She was asking herself really good questions like, "What is it about this person that's so different than other people that I've dated?"
Yep.
And I love that question, but
Mhm.
actually, like, I thought that was great. But she was like, I never felt really safe with another person the way that I allowed myself to feel safe with you, and that you helped me feel safe, and I allowed myself to feel safe. And I worry that I may never have that again. But
Mm,
I'm grateful to have had it with you.
yeah.
What did you think about that?
I mean, I think it's great self-reflection, and these are questions I ask myself all the time is like, what am I feeling? What's the difference? Like, especially when past relationships end, like having that moment to kind of quantify, like, what was it that I loved about this? What was it that maybe I'd like to improve about this? Whatever. Um, but the only thing that I'm kind of like, Faith, you can do better. Come on. Is the I'm worried I'll never have it again. Like sitting in that worry instead of doing Sandra mentions this, and this is what I and Joan does too, call an expander, where it's like now that you see the proof, now that you have a physical being that you can look at and be like, good men like this exist and can make me feel safe, lean into that as proof that
Yeah.
there are more out there instead of Gary's the only one and I'm never going to meet a Gary. It's like, well, with that mindset, you're right. So it's like, that's the only thing where I'm like, okay, Faith, let it be an expander instead of a positioning your viewpoint as lack.
It's so true. Actually, until Faith came on the scene, what I was so impressed by and was really actually quite surprised by was how all of the women were reflecting on their experience with Gerry, being like, this opened me up to see that this is possible. And now that I know that it's possible, I feel eager. They all had the same, at least the ones
Yeah.
that spoke about it. Ellen, Joan, Sandra, that other woman that was gorgeous hair that we never really got to know. They all were like, this is
Edith.
out there and therefore we can find it.
Yeah.
And I just, it was so interesting because we don't typically experience that. I know that a lot of people come to you for services
Mm-hmm.
complaining of the latter, where they're like, I'm just never going to find anyone ever again. And so I was surprised that this group of women felt that way. And I was so glad to hear it because it really showcases the differences of like the abundance mindset, the scarcity mindset.
Yeah. And it's so true because whatever you believe your brain looks for to be true, period.
Yeah.
And I have literally been living proof of this in so many different ways, not just
Hmm.
boys, men,
Hmm.
whatever. They're boys.
They'll always be boys. Even when they're not boys, they're boys.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I thought it was great. Honestly, can I just take a moment to shout out Natasha because she said a quote of mine that I say all the time. She's like, "Life be lifing," and I was like, I literally have several texts of me. I feel like I've sent it to you. I can't remember who else I sent it to literally this week where I was like, oh, one of my clients. I was like, "Life be lifing," um, and I
Right.
say it all the time. And so when I heard her say it on national TV, I was like, oh my god, yes! I knew I
Yeah.
loved you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's true. It's like, we can always, and this kind of goes back to the mindset we were just talking about. It's like life has curveballs, yes. And you can either allow those curveballs to make your focus be like, oh, life is so hard, life is so challenging. Taylor Swift has a lyric that I literally refuse to sing where it's life is emotionally abusive. And it's like, yo, I totally get it. And I'm going to choose to not have that be my only belief system, right? Or we can sing the lyric and be
Mm-hmm.
like, and I'm strong enough to handle it, right? Like, but it
Mm-hmm.
really is one of those things where it's like, whatever Tony Robbins says it too, right? Where your focus goes, energy flows. It's always that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
life be lifing instead of it being like life sucks, life is hard. My mantra is life be lifing and I'm here to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Mm-hmm.
really what I rest in a lot.
Yeah. 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 You have to, actually, I had a friend that sort of said this to me once while I was just sort of like a little down and out about the dating experiences I was having. But
Mm,
she was like, I know that it feels more comfortable because it feels more familiar to believe that this
right.
is just going to continue to be hard. She was like, or you could just believe and tell yourself that there's actually much better and you're going to find it and that's just like that's just what it is, even though
Yeah.
that feels uncomfortable and it feels foreign and it feels like you're lying to yourself. She goes, what is the risk?
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah. I talk about that quite a bit more in my somatic manifesting thing, but it's so true. It's like just in case, like if we're going to this is like easier to say with money, but it's way directly transferable to men. It's like just in case money decides who they get to hang out with, I'm not going to be the person that's like, man, money sucks. Money's the root of all evil. Like if I'm that energy, do I think a dollar bill is going to choose to come into my bank account? No, because I'm over
Right.
here being like, fuck you, money. But it's the same thing with
Yeah.
men, right? It's like if I'm over, because men do get to choose who they're with very literally, right? So it's like if I'm over here constantly in an energy of like all men suck, the only good ones, all the good ones are taken, blah blah blah, is a man going to want to choose me? And vice versa, right? If you're like, think about it like this.
Hmm.
Brie, would you want to be with a guy who is like all women are crazy?
No.
No.
immediately
So
no.
it's like, exactly. So it's like, we need to be mindful. Like, are there people of all genders and orientations that probably aren't healthy humans? 100%. We
Yes.
can absolutely say that. And there are also wonderful people of all genders and orientations that are on this planet looking for someone just like you. So when you choose to rest in that belief, that's when it's like the universe is like, okay, we're going to brush it up. We're going to throw this person other person's way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point. I should be more careful about who I tell my frustrations about men to, you know? Because
I
I do
mean,
be
I'm here
frustrated.
for it. Do
I
not feel like I judge you whenever I
Oh,
hear
no, no,
like
no. No,
I
no, no, no.
like
And
no
no, no, no,
judgment.
no. I know that you're safe, but like I can't be saying I can't be like on a date and think that I'm just talking about like my job and being
Yeah.
like, like men are a big problem and at work. A lot of the people that I work with are suffer the abuse of men. And
Right.
a lot of times women as well. Don't get it twisted. We got some mother wounds up in this bitch. But
Yeah.
represent. But like sometimes you
Well,
can't just you got to be careful. I have to be careful about who I be spewing my like I'm like men are really getting to me type of
take it
banter,
to
you
the
know.
mattresses. Yeah, 100. Yo.
When you
Okay.
say okay, so when Alex says take it to the mattresses, she's like like fight it out, punch it out.
Yes,
Yeah,
literally. It's
yeah.
also a
In
quote from
case
The
you
Godfather.
oh cool.
It's a double entendre, double
Mm,
entendre.
mm, mm. Love it.
Okay. Um, so I wish we got more up from Joan about the baby. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't, but also respect privacy. Did you have anything to
Yeah.
say about Joan?
No, I just like you know what I was glad that she said? I was glad that she
Mm.
was honest and she was like, I won't lie, there were a couple times after I was home, like I thought that he would just show up at my doorstep. I was like, me too, girl.
Bitch, too. Yeah, us too. Like, yes. You were like, go
I
find Joan.
yeah. And also
I
like
still feel that way. Even with Teresa and Leslie, I'm like, yeah, go find
go
Joan.
find Joan. I also feel like I am also that bitch. Like I will have someone break up with me, like literally break up with me, and I'll be
Hmm.
like, okay, so it's just a matter of time
Yeah.
before they reach back out. I did that with my first boyfriend, like my first. Oh, and my high school boyfriend and my college boyfriend. They broke up with me tragically, and I was like, I was like,
Dumbasses.
yeah, and I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, like they're going to want to be with me again. Also, it was like this messaging that I always had that was
Well,
they're gonna come back. Yeah,
rom-coms
they're gonna come
literally,
back.
like, that's what a rom-com plot is, right? Yes,
Do,
bitch,
do
show
you
the
want to know how
shoulder.
many? Do you want to know how many times they came back? Settle, settle.
Which is why I love Brie. If you're not watching her YouTube clip, the way she did that so sexy, like laughs. Yes, bitch.
Yeah, I just I'm that delusional hoe. Like
Setup.
I'm like, oh, they will come back.
Oh
Settle times they came back.
man.
Okay, so that was how I felt about Joan, but I was totally vibing with her that she was like, I know that this is out here, and also Joan, you are bad. Go
Yes.
out there. Go out
Yes.
there.
Yeah, she's hot. She's super hot.
She's
Mm,
hot. Hmm.
yeah. So go Joan go. Ellen crushed me. That was sad.
That made me cry.
I know. Have you checked on her yet in Delray Beach?
You know, every time you say that, you remind me that she's here, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go find her, and I have not.
You're like gonna be driving by the local pickleball courts with like a megaphone. Ellen. Oh man, so funny.
Ellen, where are you? I'm coming for you. I'm
I
here. Come,
know.
I'll hold you. But she seems to be
Honestly,
doing okay.
she seems to be doing great. The part I literally cried. By the way, I just watched this episode at 8 a.m. this morning,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
too just watched
already
this.
crying
Hmm.
because this gal and the story of her friendship with Roberta, friends for 60
Hmm.
years. She got done
Hmm.
filming to arrive home and find out her friend was in a semi-coma state. Like, how
Mm-hmm.
shattering is that? And
Mm-hmm.
then she
Mm-hmm.
said, because she was mentioning how Roberta was like, we're gonna watch the first episode together, and Ellen was like, look, she basically gave her permission to go, like, pass, like, we're
Yeah.
gonna watch it, just we'll be in different places. And that, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna emotional just saying it.
Yeah.
Oh man. But thank you for sharing that friendship with us. It was really beautiful to watch and see.
I was just doing math. Hang on. I'm gonna close the door.
Okay. Door
So
is
I was
closing.
I was doing math. Well, my mom came home, so there's like some activity out there, and these are noise canceling headphones. So I don't know if you can hear what's going on. I
A
cannot.
little. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
great. um, I was just doing some math, and we will have been friends for 60 years when we are 72.
Okay, great. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
See you
yeah.
there, bitch.
We've already got 20 years in the bag.
Yeah. I think 21 for me. 21.
21? Oh yeah,
Yeah, 21.
21.
21?
Well,
20 or
I don't
21.
know.
It's around there.
Did we meet when we were like 12? And aren't
I think
we? I'm 32.
we met summer of 2003, I believe. So yeah, 20 years because it's
20
2023.
years.
Okay, 20
Yeah,
years. Next summer
20
will be
years.
21 years.
Yeah, 21 years.
I
And
have the
our
DVD of those photos. I need to go through them.
oh my God, shut up. Let's
Yeah,
release the
like
tapes.
99% sure.
Next year, our friendship can go to the bar and get a drink.
You know what that means?
We're gonna drink
We're gonna go to Epcot and drink around the world next summer.
for our 21st birthday.
21st friendship birthday. Would you be down?
Yeah. Oh my God, that sounds great.
Yeah,
That
we'll
is
just
so funny.
drink around the world.
We should make t-shirts that say our friendship just turned 21
We
with a
should make
little
t-shirts.
ID and then go around.
That's so cute.
Oh,
Oh my
we
God,
have to
we
do
should.
that.
We're let's do it. I'm serious. Okay,
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
We'll
Can
look
you
at the
put it on
calendar. We'll figure it out.
can you put it on the vision board?
Yeah, it's going on the vision
Yeah.
board. I'm so excited about it.
That's so cute. It's
It's so
so cute.
cute. We're doing it. I love it. Oh
Me
man.
too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
even though
cool. Cool,
this
cool,
is way
cool.
more fun to talk about than the Golden Batch, we have to do our
I know.
service. So we're gonna go
I
back
know.
to Gerry. My favorite part maybe of this entire episode was when Gerry said granddaughters be damned. I was like, I don't think you mean those words. Um
Yeah.
but
What does
he
that
was like,
mean?
well, 'cause Jesse Palmer was giving him crap about like, you said you weren't gonna kiss a lot of ladies, but you
Oh,
kissed a
right,
lot of
right, right.
ladies, even though your
hmm
granddaughters were watching. And he was like, granddaughters be damned, I was having a good time. So go
Yeah,
off,
he
Gerry.
was.
Yeah, go
I
off.
feel him though, because he was like, I said that, but then I was there and all of these women were so fabulous. He was like, I was not going to sleep on this opportunity.
I know.
I said, that's right.
Yeah,
He's an
I feel you.
opportunist.
Yeah, he
hmm
is. Oh
hmm
man.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
I probably would go on record for having kissed and made out with the most contestants if I was the Bachelorette.
yeah.
I'd be kissing everyone. Everyone.
Yeah. Be like, before, oh, you're out of the limo? Kiss test. You can go home. Like, we're like,
Yeah.
just, we're gonna dwindle it down just off the kiss. Dwindling
What a
it down.
great way. What a great way to start the show. You
Right?
kiss everyone.
We have a proposal maybe for the show. Actually, have you seen that show? I think it was on TLC where it was like the blind first kiss, where it was like
Mm.
you literally didn't say anything, like you both were blindfolded and you had to kiss and then decide if you wanted to like go on a date based off the kiss. Did you see that show? I think it only had like one season.
It sounds really familiar, and I just like I would love that show.
I went on a date with one of the guys who was on the show before the show, like
Shut
before he
up.
was on the show.
Did
Yeah,
you
he
make out
was a
with
great
him?
kisser. Oh, we did more than that.
Oh, hey yo.
It was a really good time. It was a really good time. But
Mm-hmm,
very kind
mm-hmm.
soul. I was very much on the rebound. It was a one night thing. Very respectful, kind
Love that.
person. The end.
Love that.
But
Love that.
we did stay in touch post that, only for me to find out he went on this show. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's a cool concept. I would be down for that concept.
Yes, me too. Immediately. Get me on now.
Right? I love a good little snog. Mm,
Love a snog.
mm,
Absolutely favorite thing to do in the world.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's really anything else to add from this episode. And for me, not really.
I guess I just want to say I did not get what I wanted, in which Kathy did not get called out. She like kind of called out herself, but not enough for my
In the
liking.
most PR way.
Yeah. Oh, very
Yeah.
PR. Good point. Very
Yeah.
PR. Yeah, I didn't
And
care for it. I just like I didn't feel like the women got any roastings.
no, usually they like hash out shit. It's like, but I guess the Kathy couldn't hash out her
Mhm.
shit because Teresa's like final two now, you know? But it here's what look, I love Susan. I really wish Susan wasn't didn't interject and say like, you have the biggest heart though, because it's like, does she? I think Kathy has the biggest heart when it suits her to have the biggest heart. I think if she genuinely had a big heart,
Mm.
she would be more compassionate in the way that she communicates. You see what I'm saying? It's like people
Yes.
who genuinely have big hearts 24/7, not selected for a period of time or an audience to which they sit in those big heart ways. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So
We stand
I
by
don't
her
know.
being a Karen.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I felt like she was just like I said, it was a PR move to try and like make her look better in the end. And it just what didn't work for me. I see through that shit.
Yeah.
I see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that was it. What do you want to ditch?
What do I want to ditch? What do I want to ditch from this episode? I want to ditch. I want to ditch kind of what we talked about before. The mindset of lack. I want to ditch the mindset of lack
Mm.
and I want to encourage people to really be mindful of their words in every area of their life, right? Like choose, even if it feels foreign, it never hurts to daydream, y'all. It doesn't hurt.
Mhm.
It doesn't hurt. If think glass half full and then you will see the glass become half full. Like it just and if you think I'm full of shit, that's okay too. Just play with me. Just play with me. Just experiment with it. Try it on for size. You know what I mean? Like it really plus it feels better. It feels so
Yeah.
much better. It feels so much
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm doubling down on your ditch because truly I think that that's the biggest takeaway from this whole like that seems to
Yeah.
be at least from our perspective that's the theme of what we got to see, which is like
Yeah.
there are so many people look how much better served they are by taking in the experience of having dated someone that they're really like they admire and being like, "Oh, okay, that's out there."
Yeah.
And versus faith is like, "It's not in the cards for me." Then it won't happen. It's not going to be in the cards for you. And there's probably a part of you that can relate to both sets of viewpoints. And I encourage you, me, everyone to lean into the abundance.
Yeah.
There's many more. Keep going.
There's many more. Yeah.
Yeah.
One hundo.
Cool.
Okay. Wow. We killed it. Like Slade.
Slade.
Um, are
Absolute
you up?
Slade.
Do you have any fun plans this weekend?
I'm going to Miami today,
That's right. You're going to Miami.
tonight.
Miami,
Yeah.
yummy,
And
yummy.
what I think what
Ooh,
I'm gonna do is like
mm,
be intentional
mm.
in my booty shaking because I'm gonna shake my booty, but I'm not gonna shake my booty for the masses. I'm gonna shake my booty for my inner child.
Yeah, shake your booty for your inner child. Have maybe
Yeah.
like if there's a cutie, a little snog action for funsies.
Maybe I'll snog. Maybe I'll
Let's
snog.
go
Maybe I'll be
for it.
like, hey, this is how I'm greeting people now.
Yes. Are you worth my time or not?
Okay, I want people to know that I have the thinnest, tiniest little lippies that have ever existed. And when we were in dance, do you remember when some
Yeah.
of the other girls used to call me turtle lip?
Uh-huh,
I
I
want
do.
you to know.
I'm
I
trying
want
to do it.
I
I'm
know it's
trying to
hard.
do it.
You gotta have a turtle lip. I want you to know that this little turtle lip is a professional. make her
Kiss
out
her.
her.
Yeah.
No, no filler required over here.
Mhm.
She does the damn thing, and she always has from
Yeah.
day dot.
Yeah. One I can testify to that. I've seen him in action.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Great A.
I only have great reviews, so don't
Yeah.
let your little tiny
5
lips
stars on
deter
Yelp.
you. Mhm. You'd be surprised.
Okay, word. Yeah,
Okay.
I got a wedding and I met my boyfriend's parents, and that's about
Yeah.
all I
Oh,
got in
yeah.
my
We
life.
left them on a fucking cliffhanger when we set that up last week. She did great,
Yeah,
you
did
guys.
we talk about it? Oh yeah, we
Yeah, we
did it.
did.
We did it. It was a good time. It was a great time, and they're gonna be in town for the whole month, so I'll probably end up yes, I will be hanging out with them even more. So it was a good time.
Alex Alex almost finagled her boyfriend's parents to stay at my house to
Oh yeah,
rent.
yeah. I was trying to hook it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Networking.
she was meeting the parents and she was networking. That's how you know her nervous system was relaxed because she was doing many things at once. She was in her
Uh,
zone.
I was in my
Mhm.
zone. All right,
Mhm.
y'all. We love you. I have a big yawn coming out.
Okay.
um,
If you
go
want to
ahead.
go follow us on our social medias, go to our Instagram, go to our TikTok at Ditch the Script Pod, go to our website, www.ditchthescriptpod.com. There's the fireworks. Check it out. And if you want to hear more of Katy Perry, brought to you by Alex Scott, go to her Instagram, go to our YouTube.
Just hang
And
out
that's
with us
it.
everywhere. Be a stage 5 singer
Everywhere.
with us. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. We
Love you.
love you guys. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.